Okay, how to record or how to do the bookkeeping for a company that lends money to people, right? Regardless of the nature of the loans, whether it's home loans or just general personal loans, doesn't matter. Essentially, the process is going to be the same. So let's say we want to use QuickBooks Online to track this. I've created a customer called Joe Borrower, right? This is the first guy we're going to loan money to. So assuming we do all our due diligence and close escrow on the loan, what have you, then we're going to write the person a check to to basically make the loan to him. So I'm going to record an expense, even though it's not really an expense, but it's a payment. So we're going to pay Joe Borrower, and for the account we're going to choose notes receivable, right? Because I'm loaning it to him. So we're going to set up notes receivable, and we're going to set it up as an other current asset. Current if it's going to be paid off within a year, other asset if it's going to take longer than that. We'll call it loans to others, and we'll say save and close. And then we're going to loan him, let's say, $10,000. Okay, and then we're going to choose him as a customer, right? So we're allocating the loan amount to the customer. Now we also have origination fees. Now remember, we're the lender. So that's going to be income to us. And we'll call it other primary income. Or we can call it service fee income. Either way, doesn't really matter. It's just for tax mapping purposes. And let's say the origination fees were $1,500. And again, we code that to Joe Borrower. Save and close. Yes, I'm sure. Let's go into Joe Borrower. And now it doesn't show these transactions, probably because they're not going through accounts receivable. However, you can get reporting on this. And here's how we would do it. So we'd go to reports, and I could run the balance sheet, and I could go into notes receivable, and I can total this by name. So now I have Joe Borrower with a note receivable of $10,000, and this way I can use the same notes receivable account. I can have multiple customers in that account because I can total it this way to see who owes me what. And then of course we'll go back to reports, and we can run the profit and loss. Let's just go to all reports real quick, or go to recommended. That's a quick way to get in there. Profit and loss. Let's run this for all dates, and of course we can total this by we can total this by customer, but first I'm realizing that I did something wrong here. So let's go in here into the amount. The origination fees would be something we would hold back, so they would actually get less than $10,000. A check to them would be $8,500. Save and close. Yes. And let's go into that. We also need to assign it to Joe Borrower. And save and close. And yes. And let's go back to the customer center. Joe Borrower. All right, I was just curious to see, since I had apparently not properly assigned the transactions to Joe Borrower, it didn't work. So now we go back to reports, and we're going to go to, again, the profit and loss, all dates. And there's $1,500, and of course if I went in here, I can total it by name, or group it by name, in order to make that work. So now you can see it's totaled for Joe Borrower. So bottom line is, you can set this up, and even though you can't capture it in the customer center, you can still capture it through the reporting. Very easy to do. Very easy to memorize these reports and report on them later on at any given time. So your note receivable is going to be reflected on the balance sheet. And the other thing you can do actually is you can set up each customer as a location. Ooh, so all right, let's do it like this, because this actually might be really cool. So let's do that. Let's go back to our lists. all lists and properties, so we can change that. So let's create Joe Borrower. New, I don't know what I was thinking. Joe Borrower. Save. Okay, since it's going to bug me, let's also go to the all lists again. Actually, no, I want to go into settings. And let's go to advanced and track locations. Let's just call it division business. Let's just call it division. I don't care. I just don't want to call it property because that doesn't really fit at all. Now, next we go back to reports. And let's run my balance sheet. And so now see how we have not specified, right? We loaned somebody $10,000. Let's go in here. Let's go in here. And division, Joe Borrower. Save and close, yes. And now back to report summary. So now our balance sheet shows beautifully that we, I mean the bank account part of it is sort of irrelevant, but it shows that we have a note receivable to Joe Borrower in the amount of $10,000. It even shows that the net income we've earned, the $1,500 in origination fees is there. Let's go to reports. Let's go run a profit and loss and display columns by division. And let's run this for all dates. So now we can even see what we've earned from Joe Borrower in this form. So actually this could work too. It's another way. There's lots of ways, lots of choices about how you can do these things. So anyway, that in a nutshell is how you can get started setting up QuickBooks Online to track loans made to customers where you're the lender. And as always, if you have any questions, reach out to me, Seth at nerdenterprises.com. I look forward to getting them and I look forward to answering them. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day and I look forward to seeing you on the web.